Hi everybody, this is Brandon with Fold Up Games, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to show you what the heck I'm working on. Yes, I am doing things behind the scenes, I just haven't shown it, and no, this is not a devlog. I refuse for it to be a devlog. But I wanted to make a cozy game, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to make a game about running a pie shop. And I went round and round and round and round and round with this, trying to mess with different art styles because I knew the art would be terribly important. And running some stuff that was kind of a Ghibli influence. I was doing stuff that was more of a pixel art style. And I finally landed on this kind of look, and I filled out the whole space in Blender. The game is being built out in GameMaker, so it's a 2D game, not a 3D space. If I knew how to use Godot, maybe I would be using that and make it 3D, but I don't. So I do what I can do. This art style is inspired from Nikki Morena. If you check out her channel on YouTube, I'm sure she would not mind that. Does absolutely just the most adorable stuff. Lots of these little scenes with overstuffed kind of environments. So I started stuffing this with more and more things, and just making it as cute as I possibly could, and getting this exported out in piece by piece over into GameMaker to start building out a game, which has some functionality to it. And I'll tell you about the game concept. We'll go over to there we go, over here. So the game concept has kind of got two parts to it. One is the big bad whole game, and the other is the pared back game. That's a really strong suggestion from me if you are working on something and you think maybe it's a little bit overkill and more than you can manage, which I can do that really quick, get things out of control. Pare that scope way the heck back and work on the pared back version of it. So you can see we've got this lovely exterior view of it, and the game in this pared back version would be getting orders for pies that you need to make. Somewhere they come in, I don't know where. I was thinking about a shop kind of environment, but I haven't done that. It could just be a ticket just to get to the point of it. And you can click into these different spaces, these different workspaces that are environments that I rendered out from the Blender environment. So you see you still have the same vibe to it, even though this is a 2D environment that you're actually clicking around in. And these things are getting to be interactable. And you would have the book, the recipe book, which is supposed to be an enchanted recipe book that expands new recipes as you learn more, and you sell pies and you create joy. I didn't want to make a game that's about making money and trying to make more money, and I was like, why don't you just sell them for, you create joy when people get your pies, and that just, I don't know, that just appealed to me right off the bat. I just want to make something nice. And I saw somebody on YouTube making pies, and I thought, a pie game, that's the cozy game I want to make. I know I want to make a cozy game, but a pie game is what I want to do. So in this one, you can grab you would have your recipe book say make a pie crust, which is as far as the game goes right now, to be able to do that, which would be these ingredients you pick up and scoop and drop into the bowl. And I know that the recipe is 3 flour, 2 butter, and 1 milk. So we'll just do that. Poof. I want to change that milk sprite to be more of a splash. It looks like garbage to me right now. And then this is a model of a Danish whisk. I wanted to figure out what kind of whisk you could use, and I came across a Danish whisk. I thought that just looks neat, so I enjoyed modeling that in Blender. And we have it kind of behaving and moving around, and as you whisk across it, it interacts and becomes a dough. So at that point, you'd be able to interact and pick up the dough and put it on the counter. I could put my bowl away. I think the point of this game is just to be able to click and drag and move things and just interact. Some of these interactions I might modify a bit. I had more of a game where you had to take your tool and you had to really just cross and sweep and try to trace a specific pattern in order to get it to behave. And that's more game-like, but it wasn't as pleasant. It wasn't as cozy. I don't want you to fail at this. I want you to just enjoy being here. So, boop and a boop. Getting to this point has been kind of psycho. And it's been crazy just to get to this point. First of all, making all the artwork. Second of all, exporting them bit by bit. The way that I'm doing it was a pain. Getting the interactivity all functioning. Figuring out that I'm using a main command control object to tell you what everything is. To tell what every ingredient going into this mixing bowl is, because you can't just throw anything you please in here. Like if I have to just throw in sugar and butter, that's not the recipe to make anything out of. So nothing is going to happen there. So I had to get it to be able to track what's in the bowl and how to get all the interactions to happen with all the tools correctly. No, it's got to be this recipe. And I also got to where it automatically changes tools. So if you want to be just quick and not pick up your tools, you can do it. So right there, you got a sparkle response. I can make more dough right now. And right there's the mix. I'm probably going to change that process a little bit. But now you have more dough, which you're going to need to put on the top anyway. So you'd be able to put that there and roll out a bit of dough for the top of your pie. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute because the next thing you'd do is you'd want to chop up apples. So we'd probably have to move things out of the way and give yourself space to chop up apples, and then put apples, sugar, and some spices in would be my next thing to do in this case. But I also have to get the game to track where everything is so that when you go up back to the main room, I'd have another set of icons in here, another set of images here that are tracked, and also it would know what you had here in the first place. It does know that you had a pie crust in there, so even though it didn't track it on the table correctly, that's the kind of stuff I'm dealing with right now to kind of work out. But the whole game, the whole big run of the game, the big complicated game would involve having a storefront where people come in and you have to make pies to sell to them, a shop where you replenish your supplies to where you have to decide whether you want to keep cooking and trying to make more pies and push a little bit further, or close up for the day and let things replenish that way, because you can build up more and more and more of your joy for the day, which allows you to buy more complicated things like decorations for the shop, or that mushroom, which you can see in this view and also over in the blender. That mushroom would be in the full game, would allow you to get a little sprite, a little magical sprite who could automate stuff for you and skip a step. But anyway, whether I go all that full route or not, I'm at least getting the basic make a pie and get to this level of being able to have this finalized pie. And I was working on the artwork to get it to look good, because you can't have a pie game unless you have some nice looking artwork. And I was pretty happy with the looks of this. But yeah, I think this is where I get into the bit of a slog, where it's kind of a pain to keep going. And then I start having all my second guessing of myself, which is always just tons of fun, to say that the game's not fun and I need to build a whole complicated game, or it's no good, or it has to be done in 3D, or it's no good. Anything that results in you saying it's no good. All I know is I have a cute little cat here, and it looks cute in this view. So that, I think, is the important thing. I have a cat. So there. I'm going to keep on working on the clutter and what's available, and I'll probably have you make a pumpkin pie, which would just be a pie, lower crust and a filling, and then you cook it, which would be another mini game. But yeah, that's about the whole run of it right now. So yeah, if you have questions, comments, I'd appreciate your feedback. Always happy to hear from everybody, and I hope that you have a really, really nice day. Bye, everybody.